actually driving a bus tonight, so, for the baseball team, so, filling in for him tonight, and, he says he wishes he could be here, so we're gonna go ahead and, verify that we do have a quorum tonight, and gavel, and start off with routine matters, approving minutes of the executive and regular session for the April 12th, 2021 meeting. I'll make the motion. Allison makes the motion. Second by Becky. All those in favor, raise your right hand. Approve agenda.
Get an addition.
We have a addition to add an affidavit for payment as item 23 and a
Easement.
Lease easement.
For 24.
Okay.
23. And then Mr. Cyphers has a easement for the city of Salem, which would be item 24.
Okay. I'll do all.
Action items 20.
So
20.
all we're going to do is on the action items, add
Okay.
those two additional
Okay.
things. Yeah.
Okay. So now we need a motion? Right.
Mhm.
Mark makes the motion. Second by Ray. All those in favor, raise your right hand. Okay, now, approval of personnel and ECA, or did I forget?
Claims.
that?
Claims.
Claims.
Claims today.
Bills.
Yeah.
We've got to pay the bills.
Gotta pay the
Gotta pay
bills.
bills.
Can I get a motion? Ray makes the motion. Second by Allison. All those in favor, raise your right hand. Now, approval of personnel and ECA recommendations. Okay, Deb Rye, retirement for Salem Middle School teacher. Elizabeth Smith, resignation from Brady Schrum Elementary teacher. Donald Page, retirement from Salem High School ISS teacher. Savannah Walton, resignation from Salem Middle School special ed teacher. Will Cantrell, resignation from Salem High School teacher and head boys basketball coach. Richard Hurst, rehire, Salem Community School bus driver. Vicki McCurry, from part-time Salem Middle School custodian to full-time Salem Middle School custodian. Randy Nichols, Salem Middle School homebound instructor. Blair Thompson, Todd Alexander, Amanda Sebastian, Frank Mizak, Salem High School summer school instructors. Connor Stetzel and Randy Nichols, Salem Middle School summer school instructors. Alex Davidson, Liz Bundy, Lori Campbell, and Angie Snelling, Brady Schrum Elementary summer school instructor. Lisa Knights and Jamie Malloy, high ability summer school instructors. Sydney Roll, middle school cheer coach. Mary Bartlett, volunteer assistant volleyball coach. Allison makes the motion. Second by Mark. All those in favor, raise your right hand. Now for donations. Consider approval of a donation to Salem Middle School for $154.93 from the class of 1952. This donation is to be placed in the Washington County DC ECA account.
Do you want to do them all
Okay.
at individual or do them all at once? Yes, ma'am. You're good. You're good.
Consider approval of a donation to Salem Middle School for $50 from Dowling Family Photos. This donation is to be put in the Girls Tennis ECA account. Consider approval of a donation to Salem Middle School for a mini barn from Garrod Mini Barns and Cabins. This donation is to be used for store middle school football equipment. Consider approval of a donation to Salem Middle School for $50 from Caden and Christy Carmeyer. Donation to be placed in the Salem Middle School Art Fund. Consider approval of a donation to Salem High School Student Council for $1,000 from an anonymous donor. This donation will be used for Spirit Week. Consider approval of a donation to Salem High School for $500 for Tri Kappa. This donation is to be used split between the Art Club and the Drama Club. Consider approval of a donation to Salem High School Student Council for $500 from Ace Hardware of Salem. This donation is to be used for Spirit Week. Consider approval of a donation to Salem High School Student Council for $200 from Bob Strange. This donation is to be used for Spirit Week. Consider approval of a donation to Salem High School Boys Golf Team for $300 from Elizabeth and Joseph Smith. Consider approval of a donation to Salem High School Student Council for $1,000 from the Washington County Substance Abuse Council. This donation is to be used to purchase T-shirts for Spirit Week. I'll make the motion. Allison makes the motion. Second by Becky. All those in favor, raise your hand. All right, now it's time for the community support.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to defer this to Mr. Minton, but one, a large audience tonight. We're really happy that you all are here. We have a whole bunch of people to recognize. And we'll say this way, if you feel more comfortable after you've received your award, there's a pretty cool photo op out in the cafeteria that you could utilize. It's a Lions logo, but I want to make sure everyone feels comfortable. After you receive your awards, you're more than welcome to stay, but you're also welcome to kind of spread out more out into our cafeteria. With that being said, my job is to shut up and pass it over to the people who are going to do the majority of the talking. So Mr. Minton is going to present an award to our community/business partner.
Tonight's community business that we are recognizing is First Harrison Bank. And again, First Harrison Bank is another one of those businesses in the community that steps up and supports the school in so many different ways and so many different things. So hereby, First Harrison Bank is commended for your support to the students and staff of Salem Community Schools. Hereby, First Harrison Bank is deemed a forever family member of the Salem Community School System for their commitment to students, staff, and the community of Salem. Hereby, First Harrison Bank is awarded our most prestigious honor, a Sagamore of Salem Award for selfless dedication to the field of education, the state of Indiana, Washington County, and specifically Salem Community Schools. So, can I get First Harrison Bank to come up? There. What's that?
First,
That'd be bad if I said.
yeah, no, don't do that. Try again next fall.
Okay, ladies, thank you so much, sir, for all your support of our schools. We're headed to our Aurora Awards, and we have a lot to celebrate tonight. We have our perfect iRead scores, our Salem Community Schools custodial staff, FFA state finalists, girls basketball academic all-state honorable mention. And so at this point, both Mr. Minton and Mr. Scomp are going to go through our recognition and bring up some very deserving individuals.
All right, so these are our perfect iRead scores. Once we call your name, we got a really cool thing for our kids, and this is really a cool accomplishment. If you're not aware, iRead is how well can you read test, and these kids got a perfect score on it. So they're our smartest and some of our most intelligent kids we got. So it's clap for them. But we're going to ask you guys to stay up here so we can get a picture with everybody in front of our beautiful poster once we're done. So Addison Buchanan. Hayden Cole. Jensen Collier. Ethan Cook. Monty Eagler, thank you. Katie Cavanagh. Katie, I've practiced your name a couple times and I didn't ever get it close to right. Levi Lanham. Bridget McKee. Landon Philpott. Corbin Ponder. And Roxanne Reynolds.
Ladies and gentlemen, can I add something to this? The iRead is a state mandated assessment from the Indiana Department of Education. Not only did these kids get a perfect score, but they did this in the middle of a pandemic, in the most difficult situations ever. Moms, dads, please feel free to come up and take pictures if you'd like. You are more than welcome.
Did you want me to put that slide up that Mr. Stump did with the line?
Yeah, thank you so much.
Don't forget to put, when you go to talk, put that on so I can hear you.
Ladies and gentlemen, JD just put the slide up. In the cafeteria, Joe England has made this wonderful sign for us. A little bit of a picture op, if you would like, your student or yourself. You become the eye in the Lions, so it's a kind of a neat little thing if you want to take a picture out in the cafeteria. How about another round of applause for these amazing men and women?
The next awards that we have, next Aurora Awards, are for the girls basketball players who have earned academic all-state honorable mention. And so when I call your name, you come up, please. Carly Sweeney. Oh, what's that? Okay, I'll go ahead and it's called all their names, but we've been told that 3 of them are at softball. Katie Azell. And the other 2 are Callie Backherms and Bailey Heights. Don't leave, don't leave. Okay, now you're good.
All right, and now we're going to recognize some of our fantastic FFA people. They're easy to spot. They're in the jackets over there. So first for Envirothon, we got Chloe Sabins. Aiden Minton, Zion Dunaway, Jacob Rose, and Haley Walker. And then also for livestock, we have Chloe Sabins, Aiden Minton, Jacob Rose, and then Katie Larimore.
Ladies and gentlemen, these aren't just participants, these are our state finalists representing Salem. Round of applause.
Just real quick, I'll just say a couple words about it. The Envirothon team actually got the results last week, and they came in second in the state. So of all the schools in the state of Indiana participated, it wasn't just an FA contest, this was school-wide. They could have science clubs, anybody pretty much in the state could want to compete in this. And our team finished second in the state. They're actually first in the state in the test portion, and they came in third in the state in the presentation. So they didn't make a presentation. And thanks to Mr. Wade Swift, he helped us out videoing it, recording and helping put it together. They did a presentation over water within our city, and how they can improve the water for our city. So they had to put a 12-minute presentation together where they worked to talk about the environmental factors, way to improve our environment, as well as improve our water here in the city. And they did a great job with that. Came in, like I said, third in the state for that presentation out of all the teams in the state. So I was very proud of them. And then our livestock team, they just competed in the area contest, placed second in our area, which qualified them for state. And this Saturday, we travel up to Whitco Career Center, which is up near Fort Wayne, for the state contest. So I look forward to seeing how they do in that as well. So.
Would this be a good time to talk about the greenhouse? Do we have any plants left?
We are pretty much sold out.
Okay.
So, but thank you.
Okay, our next recipients of awards are our custodians, and our custodians have gone above and beyond. They do every year, but they've gone above and beyond this year with the pandemic, with the cleaning. But I tell you also, we have top-notch custodians. Whenever you come over after a snow and you see that the parking lot, the sidewalks are clear within the day, and that's amazing considering some of the snow that we had this year. So first, we have the Brady Sherman Elementary Custodians, and I will call your name if you come on down. Matt Gorman. Tina Campbell. Sean Collins. Tammy Gibson. Darwin Gilliott. Annie Highfill. Kathy Humphrey. Tina Hersey. Connie McDill. And Kim White. That's the elementary custodian. You guys have the students?
And Mr. Hinton, would this be the time for us to send them on the Christmas decorating, what they did?
Sure, go right ahead. Let's see.
This group also back in, I know it's been a few months ago, but in December, Roxton saw the Christmas drive-through that was so valuable, and we had so much a great turnout in our community. And I don't know if we personally publicly, but I know we've talked about you behind your back several times about how wonderful that was and what that meant. And, you know, we all cried tears to see that and all the hard work that you guys put to that. We just want you to know how valuable that was. And we want to thank you publicly and also personally. Thank you for that. That was just meant so much. It's what we needed.
Thank you. We got still good pictures. Don't we?
Everybody, do your best smile. Smile bright. Thank you.
Okay, next we have our Salem Middle School custodians. Kent Payne. Yeah. There we go. Sonia Booker. Josh Chastain. Teresa Day. Chastity Martin. Melissa Shockey. Christy Payne. Vicki McCurry. And Sherry Baker. And now our high school custodian staff, and before I do this, I heard Becky say this, and it's so true, how beautiful our buildings are, and that's because these guys and ladies really take care of these buildings. Joe England. Angela Browning. Eric Goad. Dorian Louder. Susie Smith. Tina Bowling. Sherry Kerr. Sarah Kerr. Bob Wilder. And Kyle England. You know, I mentioned the fact that these guys do a great job at getting the school back open and the sidewalks clean during the snow. But also right now with the mowing that has to take place, getting the athletic facilities up and running each day, it's amazing that they have the time to keep the buildings looking like they do, but they do a great job. Again.
While they're smiling, I want to echo what Mr. Minton said. You know, I've been at a few other corporations, and this will get back to them. I apologize, but this is by far the most elite custodial staff I've ever been around. They take so much pride in their jobs. They have fantastic building leadership. This is just a small way for us to say thank you for everything you guys have done all year, and it has been under the most adverse conditions that anyone could imagine, all the extra cleaning that has taken place. So thank you guys. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. You got it?
Yes, sir. I have the, I'll pull this off. I have the privilege of getting to announce our Teacher of the Year and Classified Staff Member of the Year awards for each building. I'm going to lean on the table, so I'm a little wobbly at different times here. This is a new program that we started this year with the sponsorship of John Jones Automotive Group, and we really appreciate their support. What I know about different awards and for individuals, they don't like to be embarrassed in front of people, so I'll do my best not to do that. We're going to read the award winners, and I apologize, but we're going to embarrass you later. When we put out our newsletter, our s'more newsletter, we're going to expand upon all the well-deserving comments that you have earned. We're going to pass out the awards here in just a second. We also wanted to show at each building, now we're going to have plaques for classified and classified staff member of the year and our teacher of the year awards, and they'll be at each building, and we'll just keep adding names to that as we continue this program. And the first names are already on there, I see. So I also have to point out, my wife made fun of me. I do have on my yellow Converse smiley shoes. I thought they went well with the suit that still doesn't fit. Okay. Without any further ado, we're going to go right down the buildings. We start out with Brady Shrum Elementary School. And I think what is really cool about these awards is that these were picked by their peers. Each building picked their individuals, so to have your own colleagues pick you, and I say without any hesitation, there's absolutely more than one individual deserving of each of these awards, and I wish we could buy an award for everybody. But for this year, our perfectly imperfect system here, we are proud to honor these individuals. Our Brady Shrum Elementary Teacher of the Year is Miss Pamela Moore. You're very welcome. Sure. You don't bite, and I may trip on you. I'm sorry. Oh, I forgot. Congratulations.
Yes, hang in there, Mr. Acton. I'd like one of those.
Can you get it from the waist up?
We'll crop.
We got the glasses too.
Does everybody else smile behind the masks? Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Hey, John, could you just open one? Ms. Hayes helped pick out these awards. We'll put it right back so we don't break it, but we want to show you what these awards look like before we go to our map. We have the world's tallest model here.
Actually asked for that. It's also got the individual's name in this case. I don't want to know what's going on.
So we'll go right into it. Our Brady Shrum Elementary Classified Staff Member of the Year is Mr. Matt Gorman. Oh, they were not going to give you the trophy, sorry.
No, you're the trophy today. No. Okay. I didn't want our model to have I want our model to have a job. I do like the shoes, by the way.
Thank you.
All the pictures of the trophy.
Yeah.
It was a clean sweep.
Hey. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
3, 2, 1.
Congratulations.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Appreciate your help.
Thanks for all you do.
Yes, you too.
You don't need a handheld. He's got you on the lapel mic.
Got it. We'll move right on to our Salem Middle School. Our Salem Middle School Teacher of the Year Award, Miss Deborah Rye.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Sad you're retiring too.
You might
You're
be the
not
only
so
one.
much.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Great. Make sure they got my name right in the picture.
Ryan, you're dressing like you're dressing shoes.
Oh, more. You have a different pose. Oh, one more.
Congratulations. I got something to send to you. I forgot to bring it. I got something for you. Now, our Salem Middle School Classified Staff Member of the Year Award, Mr. Blair Winslow. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Congratulations, yes, sir. Moving on to our high school, our Salem High School Teacher of the Year Award winner, Miss Joanna Schmidt.
Joanna is not here tonight.
She had a previous prior engagement she had to be at.
I scared her off. I apologize. Our Salem High School class, or we'll get the award to her, I promise. John doesn't get to keep it. Our Salem High School Classified Staff Member of the Year award goes to Miss Kathy Hayes. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Congratulations. Thank you. We also have some individual department award winners, and each, again, there are so many more deserving individuals than we have awards, but we're very pleased to honor these individuals. So our Food Service Employee of the Year award winner is Miss Mindy Huffman. Congratulations. Congratulations. Moving along to our Transportation Staff Member of the Year, we had a tie. Again, the individuals' areas voted, and we had a tie. Pretty deserving. It'll make sense as soon as I say this. Mr. Mark Coombs and Keen Garvin, please come on down. Congratulations. Congratulations, sir.
Sandwich?
It's the thorn between the roses here. Mhm.
3, 2, 1.
You have to be careful using this one in the paper, all the ladies will buy it up.
Right. Shh, my wife's over there.
Congratulations, guys. Thank you. I'm really not sure what to do because I'm not supposed to use her real name, but our Central Office Staff Member of the Year Award goes to, well, we're just going to say her real name, Miss Jana Hayes. And last but not least, this group usually doesn't get recognized, just part of the deal. But our Salem Community Schools Administrator of the Year Award goes to a pretty deserving young man. I'd like to congratulate Mr. Brent Minton.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thanks. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Congrats, buddy. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, you will not hurt our feelings. That was the exciting part of the board meeting. We now go into just kind of general business. The award winners, you are welcome to stay. But again, you won't hurt my feelings at all if you would like to go enjoy the rest of your evening. But can we do one more round of applause for everybody?
That's always the funnest part of the meeting.
We got audience and then action items.
All right, do we have any comments from the audience?
I know a blonde lady signed up.
Yes, we do. Did you say comments?
Yes.
Yeah.
You do
Com-
have
Comments from the audience?
You're up. You're up.
Okay. I gotta take my glove mask off so I can put my glasses on so I can see what I wrote down. Because I'm old. Oh, it's getting bad. Okay. Hi, I'm Mr. Acton's wife, Lindsay. If you've not met, it's nice to meet you. I just wanted to say hello and thank you for allowing me to speak really, really briefly tonight. I promise I won't run you through the ringer. In my 15 years in education, this is actually the first time I've ever spoken at a school board meeting, so kind of intimidating, actually. I just want to take this time to speak on behalf of my family. John and the boys and I were so incredibly touched by the kindness and generosity that were shown to us by the Salem community. What an incredible gesture of compassion and selflessness you all showed to us by showing up for us in this way. If you have seen the photo of our sidewalk from this weekend, Lord. The last 7 months have been the hardest months of our lives. We've navigated grief and gratitude, sadness and joy, fear and hope all at the same time. At times, many times, that has been overwhelming. But gestures like the one this community orchestrated on our behalf have made an incredibly difficult time more bearable. We have learned, if nothing else, who our people are as this journey has progressed, and it is without hesitation that we know and understand that each member of the Salem family is one of our people. Thank you for loving on us, thank you for showing up for us, and thank you for having faith in us in such an uncertain time of life for everyone. We appreciate all of you more than we could ever say. Thank you. Truly, thank you.
Consider awarding construction bids for the Safe Room project.
Yes, John Hawkins is here tonight, and he would like to review the bid opening for the FEMA Safe Room projects. The bids were opened last Thursday at 4 p.m., and Mr. Hawkins has recommendations tonight for the school board, and with that, I will defer to him as he hands out the bid tab sheets.
Thank you, sir. You know it's a big night because John has a tie on.
Have a tie on, you might hold on to your wallet. Thank you. So we received 3 bids. The apparent low bidder is Cutter Construction. We had several alternate bids, but their low bid on the base bid was $8,900,000. That's for both safe rooms. Alternate number 1 is to upgrade the insulation from a Thermax board to spray foam on the walls. Be a lot more energy efficient, and that's a really good price. Alternate number 2, 3, and 4 will kind of go together. So the buildings are designed as a bank vault. There's a waterproof coating on the wall of the bank vault and on the roof of the bank vault, and then over that we put insulation and brick veneer and insulation and a roof. And we have windows with tornado shutters. So alternate number 2 is to upgrade the wall ties on the brick veneer to make them more resistant to tornadoes. They're not officially tornado proof like the bank vault. What I call the bank vault. The bank vault meets all the structural requirements for not only a 250-mile-an-hour wind, but a missile slamming into the building at about 115 miles an hour. So upgrading the wall ties will take them around, we're estimating around 200 miles an hour. And then the alternate number 3 is to upgrade the windows, so you'd have the tornado shutters on the windows, and then we'd also have windows that would have extra laminated glass on them, similar to the elementary school, so kind of a belt and suspenders. Alternate number 4 is to upgrade the roofing system on the high school. The roofing system on the middle school was already a single-ply roof. On the high school, the base bid was a spray foam roof like you have everywhere else on the high school, but the alternate is to upgrade it to a more wind-resistant EPDM roof. Alternate number 5, the staff had asked for a certain generator manufacturer to standardize things, so we had an alternate bid for a different generator manufacturer, but nobody bid that bid. So the bid includes the generator manufacturer per the staff's request. Alternate number 6 is some additional sidewalk work at the high school. Alternate number 7 is to upgrade the floors to terrazzo. So that's a big ticket item there. Alternate number 8 is some appliances, for example, a washer and a dryer and an oven and microwave and some other things in the concession area. Alternate number 9 is recording equipment in the band room. So if you total up all of those alternates and the base bid, you're at $9,391,730, which is about $121,000 under our estimate. So our recommendation would be to award it to the low bidder. I think I've done something like 1,000 projects with Cutter, so I'm pretty familiar with them. You have 3 really good bidders here. You couldn't go wrong with any one of them. So we've got kind of a 2-part request here. Some of you that were on the pool project are familiar with this. So I'll give my little speech. When I was young and stupid, I used to make statements like, our goal during construction is 0 change orders. And then I got older and more philosophical, and I realized that 3 things had to happen for you to have no change orders on a construction project. One was, I have to be perfect. So we are doing more drawings of a higher quality, faster, than we've ever done them before. And we're still not perfect. So number 2, what has to happen is, you have to be perfect about what it is that you want, and you have to be able to communicate to me perfectly so I can get it through my thick head, so that I can get it onto paper for a contractor to bid. And number 3 is, even if both of us are perfect in that regard, construction projects take a long time and things change from beginning to end. So instead of making statements like our goal is 0 change orders and change orders are a bad thing, what we found more successful is to try and manage the change. So built into this bid is a contingency allowance, which I call our contingency allowance. And then, the 120,000 that were underbid, plus a little other things that we've got in the line item budget in other areas, we'll call that your contingency allowance. I realize it's all your money. But as happened with the pool, when we have a built-in contingency allowance in the construction, then you can designate somebody at the pool, it was Dr. Thurston, to work with me during construction to address things like, hey, we hit more rock than we expected. Or, hey, we tore out this wall and we didn't know this was going to be in there. So that gives us some flexibility to address those things on the spot without having to wait for the monthly cycle of a board meeting. And then you keep your contingency for wish list things. Like, for example, a bridge across the creek to the parking lot on the high school, or maybe some extra furniture in the middle school and that sort of thing. So the first part of the motion that we would request is, number 1, to award the bid to the low bidders, and if you agree, our recommendation would be to award all the alternates since they're under budget. That would be the first motion that we'd request. Then the second one would be to designate somebody and me to sign the contract and manage the built-in contingency allowance during construction. And the contract would be subject to Mr. Cypher's reviewing everything once we get a rough draft. And I'm happy to answer any questions that you'd have. But all in all, it's a very successful bid opening, and I feel really good about it.
If no questions, then we would motion on the low bid and the alternate.
And the alternates? Great.
So Allison makes the motion. Can I get a second? Richard, did you raise your hand?
I was tagging along. Yes.
Doctor, I just wanted to make sure I needed to do it.
And the second is to sign the contracts and award building representative.
Okay, now we need to sign, we need a motion to sign the contract and then get a building representative in play.
Building representative to manage the contingency. Yeah.
I would recommend, just real life right now, would be Doc, simply because he's been the lead on this and already familiar with the process dealing with the pool room. You can forge my name anytime, but Doc will.
Having seen your signature, I don't think I can.
Sorry. Yeah.
All right, sounds good to me. Did anybody, can we get a motion? I'll make a motion. Okay, Becky makes the motion. Richard seconds it. All those in favor, raise your right hand.
All right, thank you all very much. We'll get everything signed. We'll get a pre-construction meeting scheduled. And I wouldn't expect to see any dirt moving out there until probably around the end of June. There'll be a lot of paperwork to do between now and then.
I think I put it out there in the board notes, so we'll do a ceremonial groundbreaking, for lack of a better word. It does not have to be, as Mr. Hawkins said, it doesn't have to be right around that date. We can do it at any point, but we'll coordinate with everybody what works best for schedules and how we do that.
Thank you. All right, next on the agenda, consider appointment to the appointment to the Washington County Community Foundation Board.
Hello, I'm Judy. Is this on?
No, it only goes through there we go.
I'm Judy Johnson with the Washington County Community Foundation. Thank you for giving me some time tonight. Every year, all three school boards make an appointment to the Washington County Community Foundation. Our nominating committee goes through a process and interviews a lot of candidates. And this year, our nominating committee is recommending that the Salem Community Schools appoint Steve Hunt to the Washington County Community Foundation Board of Directors. Steve is retired from First Savings Bank and has been incredibly active in our community for many, well, I won't go on because he's not that old, but he is retired for many years, and he is very excited and anxious to join our board of directors. And so I submit his name to you for approval to appoint to our board.
Make the motion. Second by Mark. All those in favor, raise your right hand.
Thank you. I also just want to take just a minute to thank you for the partnership between the Washington County Community Foundation and the Salem Community Schools. And I just want to take a minute to highlight this past school year. So in this past school year, we awarded $2,925 in teacher grants to your teachers. This is from two funds. One is from the Jack Mahurin Fund, and the other is from the Salem Community Schools Fund. It's called the Giving Tree Fund, and that is funded by your employees through payroll deduction. And currently you have 13 employees contributing every payroll to this fund to award grants for teacher projects. This Friday will be a very big year. We will be awarding just under $200,000 in scholarships. The exact amount will be $198,800. So big year for the seniors this year. This summer, we've awarded $23,500 for summer school remediation. Between that last year and this year, you have 11 sophomores, juniors, and seniors that are members of the Youth Foundation. At the beginning of the school year, we awarded $22,000 for COVID technology grants, $500 this spring for 21st Century Scholars incentives to get the middle school kids signed up for that program, $3,000 in sponsorships, and we gave, at the beginning of the school year, every second and third grader a chapter book to encourage reading and to help get their school year off. So all this is because of the generous donors who contribute to the Washington County Community Foundation, and I represent them, and we just thank you for your hard work and your partnership to make Washington County better. So last thing is our open house is July 15th from 5:30 to 7:30, and you're all invited to attend, and I hope to see you there. Thank you very much.
Was on our mobile field trip that went up to visit Plainfield schools and their STEAM centers, and it's always good to have different eyes, and she had some great suggestions on how we can expand the use of that. out even further with our community. So it's pretty cool things, I think, not just for our kids, but for the community that are going to happen because of these facilities. So thank you for doing that, going on that venture with us.
Number 17, consider approval of an overnight field trip to Vincennes for the varsity baseball team. Jason Petmeyer leading them. It'll be actually May the 21st through May the 22nd, an overnight schedule. I'll make a motion. Okay, Allison makes the motion. Second by Ray. All those in favor, raise your right hand. Consider approval of an overnight field trip to Larwell, Indiana for the state FFA livestock contest. And that'll be under Cecily. It'll be May the 14th and to May the 15th. Mark makes the motion. Second by Richard. Richard, all those in favor, raise your right hand. Number 19, consider approval to transfer balance from dormant funds to Salem High School Student Council to be used for Spirit Week celebration of success event.
There's a procedural thing that's allowable through the State Board of Accounts. The building's requesting to transfer dormant funds to facilitate the Spirit Week celebration. We recommend the board approve this transfer.
I'll make the motion. Allison makes the motion. Ray seconds. All those in favor, raise your right hand. Consider approval to transfer the balance of $8.49 from one dormant Salem High School Middle School ECA account to the Student Activities Fund.
Again, this is another allowable building request, just to move this dormant amount to an account where the building feels it'll be best utilized. Recommend approval.
I think it'll buy one pizza.
I was going to say, we're not going to get much, but...
Sure.
Maybe.
Oh, wait, hold on. I think Ray made the motion, and second by Becky. All those in favor, raise your right hand. Consider approval of a new freezer and cooler for the Salem Middle School.
Yes, Mrs. Lipka's here tonight to briefly discuss her project, which first of all, Mrs. Lipka does an outstanding job as our food service director, and I think she's trying to upgrade the equipment, but as with many items during the pandemic, I can't even get a refrigerator right now. So she's trying to get a freezer and a cooler for a large building. So she's going to talk to you a little bit about where this process is and where she thinks it's going at this point.
Well, it's turned out it's a little bit harder than what we thought. Louisville, like everybody else in the pandemic, has a longer lead time than what they normally have. So we're just asking for permission tonight to continue that project, make that purchase. All the funds will come out of the ECA nutrition account. And it's looking like it will be more like that official quote will go into play in the beginning of 2022, sometime in January, February timeframe. And it will actually be in place now in the summer of 2022, not the summer of 2021 as we had hoped, because lead times and everything else with the pandemic has bumped that back. So we just got that official bad word. Are you going to do the
textbook adoption?
That will hang on, but it's the 1976
Probably not much to
original
talk about,
models.
Probably not much to say.
And it's all one big box. The cooler is on one side, the freezer's on the other, so the whole box has to be replaced. So if one was bad, it kind of takes out the whole thing, but they're both 1976, so they both need to be replaced. So that's what we're doing. We're going to hang on to it and keep patching leaks and those kinds of things to get us through another year and hopefully have that in place in summer 2022. And just an update while I'm talking on the nutrition program, we have already gotten word from the federal government, all meals at schools will be free again next year, breakfast and lunch, so that will continue next year. We're glad that we got word before the school year started instead of after the school year started when we had already been charging some students. So they gave the school some choices. Salem made the decision to go back and go through every single transaction that had transpired for those first few weeks of school. We deleted all those transactions one by one from the point of sale system. We entered all those transactions under the new federal program. So for the entire year this year, that way, no student at Salem Community Schools has been charged for breakfast or lunch all year, and that will continue next year. So, and then we also got word Aaron has worked very hard on all the data for the PEBT cards, but the federal government just released a program now. Students will also be paid for the summer, not just the school year. Now they will get these cards for the summer as well. And so every student at the elementary will get one because the elementary is a CEP school. And all the free and reduced students at the middle school and high school will also receive that to cover meals, all their meals for the summer while school's closed. So it's over $300 a student. I don't remember the, yeah. So it's over $300 a student that will go onto a card, and parents can use that to buy groceries and things for the meals that they wouldn't have gotten at school in the summer.
Thank you so much for all that. That's amazing.
Absolutely, that's fantastic.
We got to do approval.
We need to do the, for the freezer.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. I was so excited about the free lunches, I'm sorry. That's awesome, I love that. Okay, Peggy motion, Richard makes the motion. Second by Ray, I think, got first. All those in favor, raise your right hand. All right, consider approval of the textbook adoptions for the Salem Middle School and Salem High School.
Both buildings have spent considerable time looking at different options. We piloted some programs this year. Specifically, Kevin at the middle school piloted a program that we found that was successful. I will tell you, we're probably within about 10 years of not having physical textbooks, but right now we can still utilize the funds for those processes, and they've done a nice job finding the right fit for us. Not necessarily with all the bells and whistles, but what will work well for us. So recommend the board approve the recommendations of both the middle school and the high school.
Becky makes the motion. Second by Richard. All those in favor, raise your right hand. I'll let you take 23.
Yes, ma'am. Okay, we have two additional aspects for consideration tonight. The first is Doc will provide any additional information, but it is an affidavit for the reimbursement per the safe room projects that we discussed earlier, just to allow us to recoup what we've already spent.
Yes, the State Board of Accounts recommends school board approve affidavits prior to submission to U.S. Bank in Louisville, which is our trustee for this bond issue. The affidavit tonight is to reimburse the school district for the funds it's expended up till now. The bond closes on May the 25th. And up to this point, we've expended $770,902 of the school's money to facilitate fees and advertisements and costs with the projects. But we will be reimbursed this money once the bond sale is completed and the trustee receives a copy of this affidavit, but that will not be before May the 25th, but will be before the June school board meeting, subject to the school board approving this affidavit tonight. Our trustee at the U.S. Bank in Louisville is Mr. Charles Lush. He's informed me that if we submit an approved affidavit to him, he will get the funds back to us as soon as possible following the closing of the bond issue on May 25th. So we would recommend approval of this affidavit so we do not have to wait until the June board meeting to receive funds.
Mark makes the motion. Second by Allison. All those in favor, raise your right hand.
We have one additional action item or request. This is involving an easement involving the town of Salem. And I'm going to defer to Mr. Cyphers to do further explanation on this.
Can you hear me okay?
Last week, we received a letter and a proposed grant of easement from the city attorney, Ryan Bauer. I contacted the city, I contacted the,
Ronnie Boyles.
Ronnie Boyles, thank you. And he called me back, and basically what they're doing is, this is part of the Shelby Street expansion widening project. It's being continued, and they're upgrading the water as well, and they need to move the easement they're going to have instead of a 4-inch water line, an 8-inch water line installed, and right west of the tennis courts on top of the hill, you know, there's a triangle up there. Apparently the school owns that, and they want to dig through there and need our grant of an easement to do that. So I'm just asking that the board approve this, because we are technically giving away a property right, granting someone else a property right on a public property. So, and we would also like to designate someone, whether it's Becky as the acting president or an administrator to swing by City Hall. It must be notarized, and the letter says they would prefer that we come by the City Hall and sign.
I can do that.
So I don't know if Becky would be willing to do that. So my request would be that you approve this and approve Becky, and the minutes reflect that we've authorized Becky to go by and sign that tomorrow. And I'll give it to you to take with you.
Okay, awesome. I'll make a motion to approve. Allison makes the motion, second by Becky. All those in favor? All right. Now, items from the staff. Let me give her an introduction. Miss Barney Harmon.
After I practice my walk down the aisle. It's funny. It wasn't a roller coaster ride for me. I'm having you pass these down. I know it's not a very COVID-friendly thing to do right now in classrooms, but I'm going to ask the board to take one and pass them down. I had an idea a few weeks ago to let you guys know what was going on in the arts. And I thought, well, if I ask my colleagues, you know, maybe they'll give me some stuff, and then I can come present it to the board just as a regular old band director here, no official title or anything like that. And I contacted Mr. Acton, and he was kind enough to say, sure, come on and do your thing. So here's kind of an update on what's going on in the arts. We took a big hit in the arts when COVID hit, and everybody decided that, hey, one of the things that spreads COVID the best is singing and playing instruments. That kind of took the wind out of our sails, and we had to do a lot of adjusting. We had to fall back and punt, as they say, as my brothers, the football coaches, would have all said. And so we've been doing a lot of adjusting, but I will tell you that my colleagues and I have still been serving a very important purpose, and that's really why I'm here. It's not so much what's on these papers, but to tell you that we are helping kids, that we have been a place for kids to come to, even when we're 6 feet apart, even when we can't touch an instrument and we can't share an instrument, and we've not been able to play as many instruments because we only have one and everybody can't use the same one like we have been in the past. And it's still touching kids. It's still providing that safe place for kids. Social emotional learning is a big buzzword that you hear right now, but let me tell you, one of the best examples I can think of social emotional learning is the arts right now. Kids are drawing pictures, kids are on the stage, kids are playing music, kids are composing, kids are learning about music. They're doing things that help them feel better. And that's really what social emotional learning boils down to. So here we are in K through 2, as I put my glasses on, and I'll give you this summary from Mr. Davis. We have some of the greatest people teaching our kids arts that you can possibly imagine. And this is from Mr. Dwayne Davis. He says, in the K2 music department, we have completed a complete year of music making. Isn't it a shame we couldn't show it to people? the music making is still there. Last month, second graders learned about jazz and even did body rhythm improvisations. Now they're using basic technology and paper and pencil to compose rhythmic and pitch patterns. First graders are learning about steel drums and music from the Caribbean and Atlantic islands. They love the pans, the steel drums, you know, those things that we think of when we think of palm trees and spring break and things like that. Kindergarten's beginning to read pitches on the treble clef staff. Also, the kindergarten will be filming a virtual kindergarten concert in May to present. More on that later. It will be our easing back into live performances for next fall, hopefully. And our music and arts departments are full of hope. We are full of hope. This is general music in grades 3 through 5 from Mrs. Gorman. Kids love percussion. Who doesn't like to beat on stuff? And our Kid Sticks lessons have taken this to a whole new level this semester. The kids are highly engaged while working on rhythm mastery. Each student has his or her own stick station because we're used to sharing instruments in those ORF instruments, the tiny instruments that the tiny people play. We don't have the money to buy, you know, everybody an instrument, but we can share stick stations. We can get coffee cans and we can get sticks and we can decorate them and we can still make sure each kid gets to do this rhythm. This stick station includes a pair of drumsticks, a beat board, a crash can, known as a large fruit and vegetable can turned into a drum. Music teachers, I'm telling you. And a tambourine. The kids have really enjoyed their stations. They are learning a wide variety of play-along selections, including classical works such as Can-Can and Trepak, and popular fun songs like YMCA and Wipeout. To follow up our rhythm activities, we've been doing rhythm basketball. Yes, you heard me right, rhythm basketball. Each student has his or her own basketball, which is then used to demonstrate different music notes and the number of beats each note gets. Isn't this genius? As a class, we then create different rhythm routines using our basketballs. When we put it all together, it's a very neat performance. A few classes have enjoyed sharing their rhythm basketball routines with their teachers. It's a win-win situation. Students are learning and they are having a wonderful time too. There's that social, together, emotional, feel-good learning. They're learning about rhythms. These lessons are full of free smiles. Some classes have been doing end-of-the-year activities like reviewing music notes, having the kids play putt-putt golf on our music staff rug, and naming their notes is educational and fun at the same time. Since the kids get pretty energetic and excited at this point in the school year, wasn't that a delicate way to say how they are this time of the year? So good. We have been doing a lot of rhythm and dance activities as well as to a variety of musical genres. One type of music that's been popular recently is calypso music. Now see, from the beginning, from kindergarten, they're playing steel drums. So I wonder why they like calypso music. The connections are there. The stairs are built, and kids love this, and they remember this, and it gets in their heart. And by the time they get up to grades 3 through 5, they're going, wow, I like calypso music. And without these wonderful people teaching about this, they wouldn't have known what calypso music was, and they wouldn't have had the experience of how that felt. Music is about feeling. How do you feel when you hear something? We're learning about steel drums, and then we throw in a little fun limbo game too while we're listening to the calypso music. I have people all the time who say, well, I can't play an instrument, Miss Harmon. I don't know anything about it. And my standard answer is every artist needs an audience. So if you're one of those people who think, I can't play an instrument, that's okay. Just sit back and listen. Sit back and enjoy. There are many more lessons and activities we've been enjoying in grades 3 through 5. I just want the board to know that we are having a blast learning music in grades 3 through 5. These kids go home to a place that might be worried about who's sick or who's going to be sick or what are we going to clean or where will our paycheck come from. But they go to music class and they feel the islands and they feel calypso and they have fun. What a great thing we're providing our kids. Now, we haven't forgotten about visual arts. Oh, and here we go. Mrs. Gorman, bless her heart, she still said, I forgot to mention we did special songs and activities for these special days. May 4th, may the 4th be with you. We talked about composer John Williams and listened to some of his music. May 5th, Cinco de Mayo, we listened and talked about Mexican folk music. Multicultural, making those connections outside of their little dome that they live in. You can't beat that. So we haven't forgotten about visual. This is from Mrs. Roberts, and she says, all classes have studied the art. Ready? We're going to Calypso music and the Caribbean and music. They go to art and they get to study Africa. They're doing African art. 5th graders are wrapping up a lesson that involves making an abstract bird. We don't have any money to buy supplies, so guess what they're using? A soda can. Cutest thing you've ever laid eyes on. 4th have made clay Gallapaloozas, just like in Louisville. And 3rd graders are making a paper textured weaving project. Again, we're not going out and buying, $50 weaving kits. We're using paper. These kids will know this forever. Our big news is that we had 2 3rd graders tie for first place in the state in the Junior Duck Stamp Contest. One of our 5th graders also received first place, like first place overall in her division. Each winner received $50, and their art will be on display at the Muscatatuck Wildlife Refuge for the next year. Isn't that cool? From right here at Brady Shrum. Then we've got, Mrs. Dowling at the middle school. Our art students at SMS have they ever, that's the building I'm in the mornings, and have they been busy? Every time I go in there, there's something new around to look at. Creating Zentangle animals, cardboard relief sculptures, Georgia O'Keeffe flowers, one of my favorites, pop art, Okuda San Miguel geometric animals, math related to art. Think that's not going to bring up our math scores? Think again, it will. Music and art help math. The thing I just gave you, we'll talk about it in a second. You'll see why. Andy Goldsworthy nature sculptures, neurographic art with brain, how the brain functions and interprets art, and a recycled, here we go, recycled art unit in which they created beautiful, useful items out of typical things that we throw away every day. We don't have big budgets, but we have big art. SMS Creative Cubs, which is a new art club that she just started, just got going a few weeks ago, and we are on a mission to add color to our building, and they have. These students have started painting ceiling tiles outside the art room, and they're looking so cool. So when you go in by the Performing Arts Center, look up, and these old drab ceiling tiles now have art on them. They now have things that will warm your heart, stimulate your brain, produced by the hands of these kids who are getting better and better with every experience on their test scores. Makes a difference. Oh, and Mrs. Clodfelter here at the high school, look on if you go out that way by the gym sometime, they're working on a beautiful lion on the wall. And the showcases are always full of wonderful stuff. She's doing amazing things with these amazing minds we have here at Salem, at the high school. And then this is Mrs. Slinkard, and she says, in high school and middle school choirs, we've been rehearsing music for our spring concert on the calendar, May 22nd and May 23rd. In music theater, we've been working on the musical Charlie Brown, which is being performed May 15th. So some dates for your calendar. May 22nd and 23rd, choir concert, and that's 6 through 12. And May 15th, the musical Charlie Brown by the music theater class here at the high school. And if you want more details, just let me know. Ask Mrs. Slinkard and you will get details. I promise you, she will share with you every experience from the most seemingly mundane to those aha moments that make us all really glad we're teachers. And how about the band? The band's doing great. We took a hit. We came off of one of the best years I've ever had in my career. We came off of a state championship with an 8th grade class that was going to be one of the finest freshman classes we've ever had. And we lost a lot of them. They had things they had to do at home. They got jobs while they were off in quarantine. They decided while they were doing virtual school, they could work at Dairy Queen. They could work in other places. And some of them became managers and got really good checks and really good money. And when band practice started up again, they didn't have time. So we're taking a hit. We're rebuilding our band program. We are starting from the bottom and we're building up. If you know someone who's left the band program, they are welcome. Please let them know that. You'll see a lot of publicity out there where that says, come back. There's an old hymn like this, come home. I think, come home. But that's what we're going to be telling our kids. We will be marching next year. I have a meeting next week with the state board of the Indiana High School Music Association that they're going to make their decisions on how their events are going to go, but we will be marching in some form. We will be marching. I can guarantee that. These kids are small but mighty. You will see that because we put out a virtual concert. And tonight at 8 o'clock, right, Mr. Wade Swift? There you go. Oh, okay. Yeah, it's live right now. The link is alive. And you can watch our virtual concert. Mr. Wade Swift came over and videotaped us. I see how old I am. I say videotape. He recorded us in the Performing Arts Center, and we played our songs for him with the high school band, and it's a beautiful production thanks to him and thanks to the things that his program is doing. The Salem Lions News Network made our concert look like it was a professional event. And so please check it out. It's a wonderful thing, and the kids will appreciate that too. And I don't know if you can leave virtual applause, the little applause emojis or something, but they would they would really appreciate it. They're pretty great. What else? We've been at the high school all year, and we're in a closet right above our heads, and we rehearse in the high school gym, which has been the most uncomfortable experience of my entire life, but the kids got to make music, and the kids got to be together. I wish you could see them. They love being together, and you should have seen them when they went to the auditorium last week over at the middle school to record. They came in, and you would think they were walking into Disney display or something. They were just like, oh, look, it's the deer on the wall, and there's that crazy lizard that we used to use to learn rhythms, and there's our stuff, and oh, we're in chairs. They sat in those awful yellow chairs that I have hated for 31 years, and they were thrilled. They loved their chairs. They were like, we have a back. We have a back on our chairs. And they were glad to be together. And here we are, full circle, back at social, emotional learning. Social, being together. Emotional, how do you feel? And they felt good. Learning. Did they grow this year musically? Absolutely. They had to learn to be confident. Some of the kids were left alone in their sections because the better kids stayed home and went virtual. And so these kids who were used to being in the bottom of the section had to suddenly be the top. You think that doesn't make you grow? Yes, it does. And they rose to the occasion. I could not be prouder. I will see you Friday at Honor Day, and I always say this. I am so proud to say that I am the band director here at Salem Community Schools, and I couldn't be prouder after this year. They rose to the occasion. The bands will march again. They will play live concerts again, and they will go back to what they were before COVID. It's going to happen, and a lot of that is with your help. Last but not least, I gave you a little handout thing there. It's one of my favorite sayings, and it's really kind of touched my heart recently, and it says, the arts are a wrench to fix schools, not a flower to beautify them. Sure, we're pretty. I can't argue with you there. We are beautiful. The arts are a beautiful thing, but the arts can fix things. The arts can help with math. There's a reason that people say STEAM instead of STEM around here, because they value the arts And that A that makes STEM into STEAM is for the arts. There's a reason we're building a new safe room and we made it a band and choir room. It's the arts. Please enjoy them. These kids work so hard. All these are just words on a page, but there's love, sweat, and tears behind each one. I can't appreciate your time enough. Thank you. I know it's been a long evening, but I couldn't shorten it 1 second because these kids, these kids are so great. And I want you to come see them sometime. We'll be at graduation. The high school band, we have started practicing Pomp and Circumstance. And we've got the fanfare going for when I make eye contact and Mr. Carter and I become one and say, it is time. So we will be there. We're working on a song for our seniors to play for you, and be sure and maybe applaud just a few seconds longer for these kids. I'm happy to answer any questions you have anytime you want to, but I won't take 1 second more of your time except to say thank you so very much. We appreciate you.
Thank you, Bonnie Harmon. You're very welcome. Next, non-action items, handbooks and first reading of updated policies.
There's two things in here. I'll defer to Mr. Mitten on the policy manual. The second is the athletic handbook options for both the middle school and the high school. For the athletic component, we just want to get eyes on it for the first time, and we'll discuss further. But the policy updates out of the Neola aspect, I'll defer to Mr. Mitten.
Yeah, this will be the first reading of the policies, and it's from policy 151 to policy 9100. There are lots of them here that are updates, so in sticking with what we've normally done, I'll read the first line from the first one and the last line from the last one. Policy 151, organizational meeting. The school board shall organize annually on or before January 15th at a meeting held in accordance with law. And then to policy 9700. And the last line of that, if approved in accordance with the superintendent's criteria, a copy of the results and the proposed manner of the communication are to be provided to the superintendent for review and approval before they are released. So again, those are the first reading. You have a copy of each one of those, and then the next meeting we will have the second reading and ask for board approval of those policies.
No action. Nope.
No
just
action.
just for consideration tonight to review.
Now, new board business,
Oh wait, you gotta go back handbooks.
is that it?
Are you doing the handbooks? Athletic handbooks?
They're just for
okay.
for review tonight.
All right.
Yep.
And new board business,
anything
that's
on
it? Okay.
Mhm.
Okay, now superintendent's report.
I'm going to, you'll understand the length of tonight's meeting, so I'm going to do a handful of thanks and then go right into the positive praises, okay, guys? So, excuse me. Superintendent's report is, want to highlight, I said it before, but Joe England on a short notice has come up with a pretty incredible signage that we're going to use for a long time for photo ops, for different things. I said, Joe, is it possible to get this before graduation? And he has already got it done, or 99% of it done. So the amount of work and things, whether it's Matt or Ken or Joe, they're just very impressive guys leading their buildings. We'll talk more about this, but we've made a concerted effort to try to recognize everyone in Salem Community Schools, because it takes everyone to make this family. Last week, I'll probably miss something here. Last week we celebrated our teaching staff. Up this week, building principals, school nurses, and SROs. And I can't remember what's the following week, but we've charted it out and tried to do something special for each group to let them know they are important. It takes every single person to create this entity that is Salem Community Schools. And I'll go right into the positive praises. I had a young lady speak up earlier who is more eloquent than I, but on behalf of Lindsay and my boys, I won't speak long because I've become the wimpy guy. I'm the one who starts crying. But the overwhelming support that this district has shown me and my family from day one, I'm much better at giving than receiving. So to accept all these well wishes and gifts and things, it's hard to explain how much it means to us. So even though Lindsay already said it, I'll just say it again. Thank you for everybody, for all you have done. And with that, there are a lot more important things to talk about than our silly mugs. So I'll pass it along to Miss Becky.
Well, your silly mug's very much loved from everyone, I think, once that shows. I would have to, I think I got taken back by Bonnie's presentation. I thank you, and I love the arts, and I think sometimes, like you, I think you brought it out perfectly about how we just think it's beautiful, but we don't realize what all goes into it. And I love that you're passionate about it, and I love that sometimes we just need those reminders of what all happens and what all goes on during the day and what you see. And I appreciate that, and I appreciate you bringing that your attention. You should go to bat for like your children and for the program, because this is your beat and this is what you do. And I was thinking about in cheerleading, you know, it says, I'm from Salem, couldn't be prouder. If you can't hear me, yell a little louder. So I think we need to say, we're from Salem, couldn't be prouder. If you can't hear us, play a little louder. So definitely play on, let the band play on. I'm a huge fan, and of course, you know, a lot of these students possibly could be making some big money someday, you know, beating those cans right now and then someday beating the drums in a rock band somewhere. So, you know, we want them to encourage them. And of course, these are seeds that might be planted that will, you know, might go on in a career, but maybe just be something they play in church or at home, you know. So great seeds are planted, Bonnie, Harmon, and keep up the great work, all of you. Thank you for this program.
Yeah, I'd like to echo, if every educator in Salem Community Schools has the enthusiasm that Bonnie does, we're in good shape. We're in good shape. So I appreciate that. I wasn't involved in the arts. I don't have any children that are involved in the arts, but, you know, and I haven't had a lot of interaction with Bonnie before, but that right there shows her enthusiasm. I appreciate that. I'd also like to thank Mr. Wade Swift for all he does with, you know, making everything virtual, making everything accessible. For everybody to see, especially with the situation we went through. A little shout out to Miss Mehurin over there. My son's an incoming freshman, and she did her best to push him down the right path. Even sometimes he needs to push a little bit harder, but I appreciate little things like that. Honors Day is obviously Friday to celebrate, you know, some kids doing some wonderful things in all kinds of different genres. And that's one good thing about Salem. I feel like we have and excel in a lot of different areas, and I think it's important to give every student some kind of avenue to go in and kind of flourish. So I'm proud of that as well.
Just echoing what they said, I think we have such a wonderful arts program, and I think it really makes us stand out with what we do. You know, I love the programs in the elementary. And watching videos, even though mine are out of it now, and seeing the videos of the kids and the things they do and the energy they bring in. I'm looking forward to having those back again. For the elementary, I want to give a shout out to the teachers. If you have talked to anyone in the elementary school, you may look like maybe they're graying a little bit, or you know, a little frazzled at the end of the year, and kids are a little squirrely. And not having field trips and all the things that normally come at the end of the school year. They have done a great job. They had a May the 4th. They had a Pirate Day. They're doing science activities and walks, and really being creative there at the elementary to engage the students and to give them opportunities, even though it's a little bit different this year than what it normally has been. And speaking with Ms. Roberts in her art class, she also had a shout out to Bella Berman, who placed first in state. Our competition is now going to Washington, D.C. for nationals. So that's quite an accomplishment. Yay, Bella. Miss Rye, Nick Ingram, Rhea Snyder, and Rachel McKinley are going to nationals and National History Day projects. So I think that's really impressive that we have 3 kids going to national. And Deb does a wonderful job with that program. I was excited that the kids got to have prom this year, and it was kind of normal, so that was a good thing. Been really excited listening to the kids talk about the student council working hard and planning this kind of end of the year celebration. And I'm looking forward to that. So.
All right. I want to give a shout out to some of the middle school programs. It was brought to my attention that I guess it's been going on for a while, the Dare to Care, sending the food home on Fridays with kids that need it. And I just think that's exceptional that we are continuing to do that even during this pandemic. And I'm sure that's tough, obviously. So kudos to them. Also, I heard that last week was the Hot Dog Fest at the middle school. See, people are very, they love it, apparently. So that was an exciting thing I heard. And I did hear a lot of praise and appreciation from teachers and staff from last week from the Appreciation Week. Lots of positive things I've heard from that. Morgan was keeping me up to date on the history with the kids and the kiddos that can advance to Washington, D.C. if they choose. And one thing I have to point out with Mrs. Harm, and Kellen will kill me, so I was telling Richard before this. So he's a reserved child, and speaking about, he has Mrs. Harvish from Music Appreciation every day. So he has a love for the Beatles and for the Beach Boys. He was telling us all about it at dinner one night, and then Morgan speaks up and says, yeah, we listen to it every day on the way home. So I think, you know what, he's kind of a rap kid, but he loves that. So to you.
Let me get my glasses on so I can, they're going to fog up on me, so. If you're not aware, on May the 1st, the Salem community, we hosted the Special Olympics. I don't know how many people were aware of that. And we had several people who worked at that. So, but first of all, I'd like to recognize Angela Phipps. She has worked with the special needs kids in the Special Olympics for several years. Many of us recall coming to the basketball games and watching those kids play basketball. It was just enjoyable. I got to work the meet as a starter, and I enjoyed that. First time I've done that part of it. But I'd like to recognize her for the time and dedication that she's put into it. The organization of the meet, it went really smoothly. So all the areas around here was involved. I forget how many counties were involved with it, but it went very smoothly. So she had to get the volunteers and do all that, so that was very successful. And not to be left out would be Jeannie Page, who works the concession. Jeannie's retired, and she continues to come back to support SAD and those things, and also she works the concession stands as a Special Olympics, along with her husband, Don. So recognize them for the time that she puts into that also. Also, we had several high school students. Now, that was prom day, as you remember. And what's more important to a young man or a young lady than going to the prom? But guess what? We had several kids there working that meet till 1 o'clock, then had to get ready to go to a prom, which, a lot of times kids don't think they have the time to do that. But one of them was my grandson, and I'll mention a couple of them. The Golden twins, they were there, and they worked, so and girls getting ready, so that was pretty good. But we had about 14 or 15 kids doing that, so I'd like to thank them for doing that. Also, we had several staff members we had a few staff members who worked. I don't know how many exactly. I didn't keep count, and probably when I saw them, I forgot who they were, but I know two of them are here tonight, Chris Mehere and J.D. Wade Swift. And also Julie Schneider did the announcing that day, and so everything was running smoothly. She would announce when the events were coming up, and they would get the young people down there to participate. And I shouldn't leave out Hank Whedon, because he had to open up and take care of the restrooms, I think, and those things. So he did that. So, and finally, the community members who volunteered to give up that Saturday till late in the afternoon to participate and organize that early in the morning, handing out T-shirts or taking temperatures or whatever they were doing. So it was a very proud day for Salem, and we are to be proud of the activities that went on that day and sort of these special needs kids or the Special Olympics. So just a shout out for those folks.
here. I'm on the end of the long line. I am just, we're working on a new production, and as Ms. Harmon said, the kids are so glad to be back in a closer proximity. It may be 6 feet, but they are, it's nice to see their faces and see that they're knowing they did something that they've lost for a couple of years. And I think things are normalizing, and we're going to get better at this. And we've got so many things, as you've just listened to, so many things to be proud of. And they didn't come just this season. They were because that we've had it for a long, long time, and we've made it the very best we could make it under these situations. So I'm just excited to be back with my kids in a more normal situation, and watching the band slip in and out of the auditorium, and actually dress up again and do a program that they know that somebody's going to get to see. So so many things to be thankful for and to be proud of. And Salem's a pretty good place to be if surrounding schools haven't taken a look. So I hope they look our way.
Forget this side. Gentlemen, okay.
I'll just add, this is an announcement, really. May 13th, this Thursday, is the Unified Special Olympics, which is a K-8 program. It's done through the school. That will be at Paley High School, and we have students going to participate in that.
Thank you again for your positive praises, and there's a lot of positive praises for sure. Our next meeting will be held June the 14th, 2021, and I need a motion to adjourn. Allison makes the motion, second by Ray. All those in favor, raise your right hand. Love that.